Hello, this is me, Helmut, and I'm going to continue here with a way of talking which most of you have not heard from me in the last 2-3 years, since you may be listening and do videos from me. And that is this: the economy is going to get a lot worse than it is now. We're talking now August of 2010. The economy is going to get a lot worse. And this is not because I want it. This is not that that's what I wish. And please do not confuse somebody saying economy is going to get worse and say, well, he's a doomsayer, he's a fearmonger. I'm sure there are fearmongers out there, but the point is this. The point is, just because you close your eyes doesn't mean that whatever happens in front of you doesn't happen. Would you like to have been on the Titanic, and then when it was sinking, to find out that some idiot was thinking that the Titanic cannot sink and thus we don't need lifeboats? I don't think you want that. I'm also comparing it often with Austria. I grew up in the Austrian Alps and Swiss Alps and Italian Alps and stuff like that. I've been there, I've been living in those places, and let me tell you this: you learn very fast not to go out without proper equipment, whether that is across the street with an umbrella, because it can't stop raining while you're crossing the damn street, or whether that is with heavy gear and coat and sleeping bag and enormously great shoes and food for a couple days when you go and do a little bit of hiking. Why? The weather can change so fast, so mean. So, is it a hassle to bring things around and with you? Yes. Yes. But boy, when it hits, are you happy that you have had it? Boy, are you happy to have had it? So, why does the economy, why is the economy poised to go down? Just look at it. We have a major inflation going on already, and the government says we have none. Why? Because they exclude food and gasoline out of the price of inflation. Wow. Wow, how misleading can that get? Do you, if you're a doctor or dentist, a plumber, do you see people spending the money they used to spend? I don't. I deal with dentists and doctors all day long, and they are not having any money anymore. And they're having less business. And here's what they tell me: we have less business, so we cannot afford to market. I will maybe call on you when I make more business again. Wow. That's like telling the doctor, doctor, it hurts. It hurts. But it hurts so much, I really don't want to go to a doctor now. And also, I have very little money, so I'll call on you when it hurts less and when I have more money. Wow, that wouldn't work, would it? That's how business people are looking at the whole situation now. In any case, we're poised to have another real estate failure, commercial and residential. And there's a high chance that the dollar will crash with all this stuff. The dollar is not backed against the gold anymore. There are a tremendous amount of people out there. I have mentioned them in other videos. Ron Paul, actually, who used to run for president with, I think, last election. There is Peter Schiff, there is Robert Kiyosaki, there is Gerald Salende, there is Mark Faber, there's Jim Roger. There's all those people out there and many, many more who will tell you they are predicting trends. Those are the type of people who have predicted trends, the correct fall of, the dilemma we had in 2008 and 2009. They predicted that. Those are people who predicted that, for instance, organic food, whole food kind of like that type of stuff will become a big hit, and they predicted that 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when nobody was talking about it. Those are the people who live life. They did very well for themselves in life in terms of money, and they're not looking at one or two things. They're not influenced by the media, which feeds us baloney. Okay? It will go better. They go in short time, on a whim. Mr. Bernanke says something Oh, it's going to go fine. The Chinese people say something, oh, it's going to be fine. Somebody says something bad, oh, it's going to go down a little bit. They're running this whole thing on nothing but rumor and comment. There is nothing to this economy currently. Now, how does a normal little guy like us escape this? Having a product and or a service and knowing how to market it. And this is where I come in. Knowing how to market it. Here is what I believe can easily happen. Okay? That it's not anymore, I used to advocate and still advocate, double your business minimally, because if you don't work on wow, I'm telling you that little bit of thing doesn't hit it ever. It's never worth the effort. But double your business. So with great marketing, one can actually double its business under relatively normal circumstances, even under slowdowns. Why? Because the competition is going to go sleeping. They're already sleeping. They're already putting their head into the sand like there's no tomorrow. It wouldn't matter in what business you're in. Me dealing mainly with dentists and doctors, I'm telling you, you can see it. They all are putting their head in the sand, waiting for the government to get them out of it. By the time they wake up, those doctors, it will not, you know, there will be no economy, and to top it all off, they will have Obamacare, which takes away any and whatever tiny little bit of money they made so far. So, if people do not learn how to sell to the few people who will have money, they'll be dead. They'll join the unemployment rate. It won't be as funny as the New Yorker magazine many years ago, 2, 3, 4 years ago, showed a doctor operate for money. Operate for food, sorry. Operate for food. It'll go much worse. They won't even be able to operate for food anymore. It'll go that bad, very most likely. Now, what about if it doesn't? Good luck. Beautiful. Gorgeous. If you market and it doesn't go so bad, you'll go woo. If you market and it goes that bad, you might not go woo, even though you might, because the competition doesn't do anything and they go broke. So you might be getting all their shares. You know, when there's 3 major airlines and one goes broke, the 2 pick up the slack. When Circuit City went out of business, Best Buy statistics went up. Of course, when such a major company goes out of business. So in your case, being a small business owner, you usually don't have such a major competition, but you will have 20, 30, 40 or 50% of people giving up. They just will give up. They just will not do anything and will die out. You will get that business, even though there's less out. You got to always get a bigger buy, a bigger piece of the pie. So if you do the right thing, and the doom and gloom I, so to say, here tell you will happen, doesn't happen, okay, then you go woo. If the doom and gloom completely happens the way I have observed and looked at and the way other people are writing, and yes, they have influenced me because they opened my eye to a very high degree, but why did I look for them in the first place? Why did I go and start researching that stuff? I'll tell you why. Because it made no sense to me at all anymore for the last 2, 3, and 4, and 5 years. And I'm obviously again slow. I should have known this before. But I'm knowing it now. So what about if it does come? It could be that as you become better in marketing than you in your own profession, which is what you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, which is what you have to do. You have to have a good product, a super good product, and you've got to learn how to market it even better than your product is. If you do that, instead of like expanding, you might be only shrinking a little bit. Wow. Shrinking a little bit is normally not good. Of course not. We're so thrilled that we always have to grow, and it's true to a high degree. But shrinking a little bit is a lot better than dying. And more than half of your competition will die. They'll die out. They'll try to go and look for a job, and they won't find a job. They will find a job even worse and harder. It will be more difficult than they will try to stay in their own business. So it does take a while to build a marketing machine together. And by the way, a great marketing machine is not advertising. Advertising is not what I'm talking about. Advertising will not work. You will not have the money for advertising. What you need to do is get the community involved. And that, why don't you go and look at some of my other videos and you will find out on how to do that. But please, one way or the other way, don't be lazy. Don't sail without a lifeboat. Realize that something is on the horizon and it ain't good. Bye-bye.